Out there, beyond the shimmering veil of known space, Harmony Point floated like a quiet sentinel among the stars. It was a union of architectural brilliance, where human ingenuity embraced the aesthetics of the galactic community. For Planetary, the Elysian envoy, it was more than a station. It was a crucible where destiny would forge her anew. He had taken the time to research Elysian diets, ensuring she would find sustenance among foreign offerings. Yet she saw in him not just a professional, not just a liaison, but the man. Human intimacy was unlike the structured rituals of her homeworld. Where Elysians embrace formality, humans embrace passion tempered with patience, curiosity shaded by gentleness. There Doran found her again, drawn not by duty, but by something neither could name yet both recognized. Their conversation unearthed more than feelings. When Liriana found a datapad left by an aide of Pra, it revealed a conspiracy far beyond personal entanglements. Operation Sundered Alliance, a plot to sabotage the fragile human Elysian peace, using her marriage as a pawn in a greater game. They could no longer afford to be mere participants. The revelation demanded action. Doran would secure the evidence. Liriana would play the part expected of her, even as the stakes transformed from personal to political survival. Doran revealed a world where bodies spoke fluently, where touch carried meaning no device could decode. He sought to bind her cooperation with blackmail, but her resolve, born of love and newfound autonomy, stood firm. Before the rites could proceed, she spoke, her voice clear and unwavering. She denounced the hidden treachery, unveiling evidence for all gathered representatives of many worlds. The assembly gasped as Pra's machinations came to light, his fury impotent against truth laid bare. Valen stood with her, rejecting the legacy of manipulation. Doran, standing amidst the human delegation, watched with quiet pride. In that confrontation, not only was a political conspiracy dismantled, but Liriana's claim to agency was sealed, her voice unshackled from duty's chains. Then Valen, her betrothed, arrived not the expected instrument of Pra's ambitions, but an ally in waiting. He, too, harbored affections deemed inappropriate, a human diplomat named Sophia. In this web of allegiance and affection, they found kinship. Together with Doran, they conspired not to flee but to expose. The upcoming bonding ceremony would be their stage, the galaxy their witness. In the quiet aftermath, Liriana lay awake, the station's hum underscoring her conflicted mind. She had stepped beyond duty into a realm that belonged solely to herself. But morning brought with it the reality she had long postponed, a message from Elysia. The ambassador overseeing her remarked on her integrity, promising continued service, tempered with a hint that perhaps her translator device should indeed be replaced. Doran approached, his eyes warm, his presence an unspoken promise of more to come. She smiled, her path no longer a march along preordained stones, but a trail she would forge herself, guided by heart, not heritage. What began as a translation error had rewritten her destiny. She had gained not just the freedom to choose, but the courage to do so. And in Doran's hand clasping hers, she felt a future composed of choices entirely her own, in a universe vast enough for both duty and desire. Council of Pra, her betrothed's father, was arriving not in days but imminently, to finalize the marriage that had been planned since her birth. She asked of human courtship, feigning curiosity, but driven by an urge deeper than protocol. His answers were tentative, wary of the boundary between duty and desire. But her hand, deliberately brushing his, rendered caution fragile. She saw in his eyes the reflection of a question he dared not voice. And so she whispered the truth her translator had butchered. She wanted to understand more not the academic knowledge of cultures, but the raw, untranslatable language of connection. His kindness disarmed her. She sought to thank him in the way of her people, pronouncing carefully the ancient phrase of respect. Yet her translator device, elegant and flawed, betrayed her with a mistranslation that spoke not of gratitude but of desire, a plea for intimate companionship. His eyes, once warm, retreated behind the shield of professionalism. But her heart rebelled against resignation. She confessed the translator's betrayal, the truth she had hidden, the choice she had made in that pivotal moment. Doran listened, the hurt in his gaze tempered by understanding. They agreed to speak again, but duty called them elsewhere. The arrival of Counselor Pra was a ceremony of grim precision, his presence a monument to the old ways. He spoke in titles, reminded her of her place, and unveiled the rush bonding ceremony meant to cement political advantage. Yet beneath his decorum was the calculating mind of a man steering events toward darker ends. Doran's stunned reaction told her something had gone terribly wrong. Yet before clarity could be restored, another Elysian, diplomat Earth Devon, interjected, revealing the error in a hushed warning. The proper words of respect had been twisted by the device into an invitation no Elysian would ever utter so casually. As the shuttle docked, her slender fingers pressed against the viewport, turquoise eyes reflecting the station's glow. Her silver-white hair framed a face young yet burdened with the weight of expectation. Her family, her heritage, her preordained marriage, all silently whispered their demands as she stepped onto alien metal floors, her translator device humming faintly at her collarbone. Awaiting her stood Commander Doran Maddox, a man whose gray eyes concealed a mind both disciplined and curious. He was assigned to guide her, to help her navigate this tangled mesh of human customs and interstellar diplomacy. There was warmth in his handshake, a subtle contrast to the formality of his title. His presence, commanding yet kind, offered an anchor in the sea of unfamiliar sights and sounds. As he walked her to her quarters, describing the protocols and places she would soon frequent, Liriana watched him. His every gesture, his respectful manner toward every species he encountered, all painted a picture of a man deeply intertwined with the diverse world he inhabited. A part of her, well-schooled in propriety, still found curiosity stirring beneath the surface. Later, in the station's cafeteria, Doran's thoughtfulness became apparent. Liriana's mind wrestled with choices as she returned to Doran, the truth of the error nesting within her but unspoken. They crossed that threshold willingly, neither quite prepared for the gravity of discovery. She told Doran of the impending arrival, of the obligations chaining her to a path she no longer wished to tread. In the station's arboretum, Liriana found stolen solace. Pra revealed his suspicions during a private meditation, his veiled threats unmasking knowledge of her night with Doran. Under the ceremonial lights, dressed as tradition demanded, Liriana stood beside Valen. As Pra was led away, his fall a cautionary tale to those who would wield power through deceit, Liriana turned to the future, uncertain yet free.